Hi, I'm Rhianne, and I'm a Vancouver-based oriental dancer and instructor, and I'm here today to teach you how to do down hips, so the Egyptian Soherizaki style hips. I've had a few people message me in regards to how to do this, and so I thought I would take the time to do a short little video about how I teach in my classes and workshops how to do this move. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the right leg. I'm just going to go over a little bit of the anatomy of what's happening here. So when we're doing an up hip, essentially what we're doing is we're contracting the right or the left side, depending on what leg you're working on. And that kind of corresponds with the step. So for instance, if we're stepping forward with the right foot, this hip, it's an easy transition for us to slightly straighten that knee, slide that knee up the quadricep muscle, contracts these obliques, and contracts the glute, and then help bring that hip up. And so the foot is weighted, and it's an easy transition for us to essentially just push up into that hip. With the down hip, it's actually the opposite. And so we're gonna have to start, it's easy to start, I find, in a releve position, so getting on the balls of your feet. And depending on the strength of your ankle or your balance, you can vary that, that height of how high you wanna go on the balls of your feet. So if your ankle's not very strong, you can bring your feet down to kind of like a demi point here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually start with this hip. We're gonna work with the right side, start with that right hip slightly contracted up. And so that leg is actively pulling away from the foot's still pressing into the floor, but there's a lot of energy going in from the ball of that foot into the hip. We're contracting that glute, and this side is contracted slightly, so that if I put my hands on my hips, you can see that there is a difference in height between the two hips, pardon me. So we want to have the weight, though, mainly based on that left leg. So when we step forward with that right foot and that right leg, we're going to drive that hip down. And so what happens with the opposite hip is the opposite glute has to contract to help complete that movement. So now you can see it's the opposite. Now this hip is down, this hip is up. The majority of our weight is now on that right leg. As we bring that left leg through the step, we're going to switch. So as we bring that right foot down, we're going to contract that right glute, and we're going to pop that leg downwards. So the movement is down. You're increasing the distance between your armpit and that hip bone. So we're back on the right. So there's that slight little tilt here. So down, step, left, step, right. So you want to really focus on driving that hip down towards the floor, increasing that distance there. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Step left and right, left and right. So to keep the balance, we have to really engage the pelvic floor. And you can knit those upper ribs together to help kind of get the abdominals engaged here. Your upper abdominals attached to the rib cage. So that is really important for helping with the stability, as well as that pelvic floor drawing up and in. So 1, 2, 1, and 2. So the other thing that I want you to really pay attention to is this can start to be a little bit like a penguin walk. So you want to keep your legs fairly close together. So I always tell my students, I've given them each $1 million bill. And so I've said, put the $1 million bill between your legs and kind of hold it there so that we kind of really get that sensation of really keeping those thighs in close. You can also start to do a little bit of a cross walk with the feet, because we don't want to go into this, which is a lot of beginners when they're learning this step, because there's so much going on. This step becomes really common to see, and it's like, yeah, you're doing it right. But aesthetically, it doesn't look very nice. So if you draw those legs together, that $1 million bill, here you're also able to work with a bit more of that range. So it kind of comes from instead of that side to side movement here, where you can see there's a little bit of slide before it comes down, this becomes a lot more vertical here. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful. Hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.